Hi, my name is Rachel and I'll be describing the differences between 3 types of walkers, how to fit a walker to a patient, and how to teach a patient to go from a sitting to a standing position and vice versa using the aid of a walker. To begin, I'm going to be describing the differences between standard, rolling, and platform walkers. The first walker I have here is the standard walker. Its most distinguishable characteristic is that each of its 4 legs have rubber tips at the bottom. It's most commonly used for patients who need to bear a substantial amount of weight, and it's also nice because it's easily collapsible. However, because the patient has to pick up the walker with each step, it increases their likelihood of falls and slows them down. Moving on to the rolling walker. Its main characteristic is that the 2 front legs of this walker have fixed wheels at the bottom. These wheels allow for a more normal gait pattern, but it does compromise one's stability. Also, because of its 2 fixed wheels, it requires a larger turning arc when the patient wishes to change direction. Lastly, we have the platform walker. This walker has a platform at one's chest height that allows them to bear weight on their forearms rather than their hands. This walker is typically used for patients who have trouble bearing weight on their hands, as well as those with neurological disabilities. However, because of its platform, it's bulkier and more difficult to collapse. Next, I'm going to be demonstrating how to fit a walker to a patient. First, you will want your patient sitting on the edge of the chair with their heels flat on the ground and their shoes on. You will begin by palpating their greater trochanter, and then measuring in centimeters from their greater trochanter to their lateral epicondyle. You will then measure from the lateral epicondyle to where the heel meets the floor. Then you will add those 2 measurements together and adjust the hand grips of your walker to that height. To confirm the fit of the walker, you need to ensure that the patient's greater trochanter is aligned with the hand grips of the walker. You will also have your patient put their hands on the hand grips of the walker and ensure that their elbows are flexed to about 20 to 30 degrees. If the patient has trouble fully extending their elbows or they need to flex their back when standing or walking, the walker is either too high or too low. To move your patient from a sitting to a standing position, you need to first make sure that the surface they're sitting on is secure and that there is a gait belt around their waist. You also want your patient to be as far forward on their seat as they are able to be. To begin, you will place the walker in front of your patient like so, and making sure that the walker is close enough for them to reach but far enough for them to have room to stand. You will then stand behind the patient with one hand on their gait belt, maintaining close proximity and a wide base of support to ensure safety and to make the movement easier for yourself. Once you are positioned properly with one hand on their gait belt, you will then instruct the patient to push straight down through the armrest of the chair and lean forward simultaneously as you support them holding the gait belt. You will then instruct the patient to swing their hips forward and begin extending their legs until they are standing. Once they are steady and standing, you will instruct the patient to reach for the walker with one hand at a time. Okay, Caitlin, are you ready? All right, I'm going to be holding you back here for support. First, I want you to put your hands on the armrest of the chair and push straight down and lean forward. Swing your hips forward, extend them, and then reach for the walker. Great. To move your patient from a standing to a sitting position, you want to first instruct your patient to have the backs of their legs against a secure surface. You will then stand behind the patient, maintaining a close proximity and one hand on their gait belt. You will then tell the patient to reach back using one hand at a time and slowly lower themselves to the surface as you support them as needed. All right, Caitlin, are you ready?
Yep.
All right, first make sure that the backs of your legs are touching the secure surface. Good. All right, I'm going to hold you back here for support. I want you to reach down with one arm at a time to the armrest of the chair and slowly lower yourself down.